To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Recently, we've been talking a lot about theming on this channel and how the theming plays into the Disney parks and helps boost that story that Disney's trying to tell to a completely new level. And something that I'm sure very few people think about when they're in the Disney parks helps boost that immersion, and that is the plants that Disney chooses to plant around the parks. Okay, I'm sorry. But yes, it is true, Disney can heighten your immersion by planting different plants in different areas around the park to help build that story. So today I thought we would take a look at a few of the plants Disney uses in their parks that may or may not actually be real, that Disney uses to help bring you into the story. And of course, you think massive fake plants at Disney parks and your mind immediately goes to Animal Kingdom at Walt Disney World. I mean, that's where mine goes. I don't know about you guys. And when you think of Animal Kingdom, odds are you think of the Disneyodendron eximius. Okay, I'm not quite sure if I butchered that name or not, but it's the scientific name Disney gave to, of course, the Tree of Life. Now, Disneyodendron eximius roughly translates to the out-of-the-ordinary Disney tree, or the excellent Disney tree. It is also known by the Disneydendron semperflorens grandis, or the massive, ever-blooming Disney tree. How cute. I think Disney just got together one day and said, you know, what do we name this tree? And someone said, really good tree? And I guess it stuck. Now, of course, if the tree's name is fake, you need an equally fake enough tree to go along with it, and Disney is way ahead of you on that. Now, looking at the Tree of Life, you can probably tell that it's not a real tree, but if it's not a tree, then what is it? When Disney was building the Tree of Life, they needed something that would withstand the Florida storms. They needed the branches to blow in the breeze like a real tree, and they needed the skeleton, the structure underneath the actual Tree of Life itself, to look like a tree. Disney also needed enough space below the Tree of Life in order to fit a theater for It's Tough to Be a Bug. And luckily, living in Florida, the solution wasn't very far from home. The answer was, of course, to make the Tree of Life out of a refitted oil platform. After making the oil platform look something like a tree, they attached some branches and some leaves to those branches. And after carving roughly 325 animals into the base of the tree, Disney's Animal Kingdom's weenie was complete. Weenie as in something that draws you towards the center of the park. Another area in Animal Kingdom that's rich in fictional plant life is, of course, Pandora. A massive plant that you first see upon entering Pandora that you probably don't know the name of is the Flasca reclinata. And yes, it actually did take me about 6.5 days to figure out how to even pronounce that word. That's why this video took so long. Now this, of course, is a fictional plant on Pandora that doesn't actually exist, at least not on Earth, but it's pretty cool because people can actually interact with the plant, and if you've been to Pandora, you know what I'm talking about. Even though they look extremely alien, most of the plants you see in Pandora are actually just earth plants dressed up to make them look like they're out of this world. Different succulents and wildflowers and different kinds of plants help decorate the land and make you feel a little more immersed, but of course there are the fake plants as well. When you're walking through Pandora, you'll notice different mushrooms and polyps growing on the sides of buildings. Of course, these being alien plants, they're absolutely toxic and absolutely, fake. But the theming in Pandora is so well done that it's really hard to tell the real plants from the fake plants. And speaking of Earth plants that look completely alien, let's go over to Disneyland, specifically to Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Now, we all know the collector travels the galaxy and collects many different things, including animatronics from Walt Disney World and Disneyland attractions, but did you know he also collects plants? Now, of course, all these plants are Earth plants, but Disney decided to dress them up with really weird names. Names that if you saw would make you say, is that a real plant? Because it's real enough that I would believe it's real, but it's also really fake sounding. One example being the Scyphostemma jute. I guarantee you I got that wrong, but on Earth it is known as the Namibian grape tree. And I mean, just look at this thing. You can't tell me that's from Earth with a straight face. That is an alien tree if I've ever seen one. And I mean, it's not really a plant, but don't even get me started on that garden gnome. What is that garden gnome doing there? And just take a look at his face there. I don't like the way he's looking at me. And everyone, for our last horticultural Disney Easter egg, we're going to go across the street to Disneyland, where we're going to talk about the eucalyptus trees. Now, we've talked about these eucalyptus trees before, but for those of you who don't know, when you first enter Main Street USA and look behind Town Hall, you will see some massive trees towering behind it. These trees serve as a sort of buffer between Main Street USA and Adventureland, because they can both kind of fit in with the theming of both of these lands. But something that's super interesting thing is these eucalyptus trees were actually around way before Disneyland even opened. Since the late 1800s, they were planted by the farmers who were staying on that land that is now currently Disneyland as sort of a wind buffer for the farm so that their trees wouldn't get blown over. During the construction of Disneyland, Walt Disney Imagineering, or WED as they were known at the time, decided that it would be a good idea to keep the trees as part of the park, because the trees could fit into the theming of either Adventureland or Main Street. And speaking of really old Disneyland trees, let's talk lastly about the Dominguez palm in Adventureland. The Dominguez family were the people who lived on the property that would eventually become Disneyland. Planted in 1896, the palm tree was presented to the Dominguez family as a wedding gift. Walt knew how much this meant to the family, and during the development of Disneyland, Walt decided to save the tree and replant it in Adventureland. And there it sits to this day near the entrance of Indiana Jones. So next time you're at Disneyland, take a look over at the Dominguez palm and notice the history. The Canary Islands date palm planted at the end of the 19th century, and realize to yourself, wait, did I get a fast pass for this line? I'm not waiting 90 minutes for this. Hello everybody, and thank you for watching this video about the plants and trees at the Disney parks. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to follow me on Twitter if you want some more updates regarding my channel, when I'm gonna be at the park, and just things that I'm doing in general. Donate on Patreon for early episode access, and remember you can get offhand Disney merchandise right now at the link in the description below. Also, please remember and keep in mind that there is an Offhand Disney Discord or an Offhand Disney subreddit if you want to discuss things relating to the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I've been really busy this week, so that's why this video has been a little bit on the shorter end, but I wanted to get something out to you guys because I know you guys like watching these videos, and I like talking about weird things at Disney, and plants I think are just weird enough. So I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.